Hi everyone, let's talk about the Castles of Tuscany, which I just did a two-player playthrough for. If you haven't seen that yet and you would like to see all of the game out, it's linked in the description and up in the corner there. So, Castles of Tuscany, absolutely love it. That's all you've come for? There you go. So, yeah, I'm a massive fan of Stefan Feld's games, especially the classic point salads. I love Trajan. I love Amerigo. Castles of Burgundy is one of our favourite games overall. And so anytime that there is, a kind of reprisal, when it came out in the card game, that was my very first video, in fact. I really enjoyed the card game, didn't get on so well with the dice game. And so now we have Tuscany, this kind of mysterious announcement that, is it related, is it not? It's kind of an amped up version of Castles of Burgundy for me. I've seen vastly differing opinions on this, both of what people think of the game itself, but how they relate it back to Burgundy. Is it completely its own thing? Has it got anything in common? I think it's definitely got stuff in common. It definitely feels like it's own game to play, but it's definitely got a load in common with Burgundy from the look, from the fact that we've got these hex-based player boards that we're putting coloured hexes in, getting a benefit when you're putting these hexes down, getting points for filling up the regions, trying to race to fill all of a particular colour up on your player board first. But instead of working it out with dice, you are doing it with cards. You place the tiles by playing a pair of cards of that colour. And so a lot of the game is so much faster because there will be a significant amount of turns where people are just getting cards to try and get the right ones that they need. There's a load of mitigation in that because you can put any pair in substitute for one of the cards that you need. You can get workers out that will substitute for one of the cards that you need, to the point where you can play tiles without playing cards if you've got a load of workers out there. And in the fact as well that it's faster because there isn't any way of... there isn't a load of thought going into how you're going to get the tile that you want. In Burgundy, you've got the central display board and you need to play a die of a certain number to get the tile that you need, and it has to be in that section and stuff. But in here, we've just got a display of 8 tiles, and you just take one and put it in your display. Your storage is only 1, unless you boost it later on. So you are limited in that way. And you are limited by the tiles that are on display. So there is some luck going into the drawer of the cards and the tiles that are available to you. There's nothing that you can do to adjust that display. But the fact that you can grab these bonus tiles as well. You start the game with 1, and every time you place down a red tile, you are going to get more. So up to 4 over the course of the game. But the choice is yours on how you want to go in this. You can double up on tiles. So you can start the game with more storage, which really does open things up for you. It can be incredibly limiting that you end up taking a tile that you don't really want, and then by the time it comes around to your next turn, the perfect one is out there, and you can discard the one that's in there, but the rulebook does advise against it because it's very wasteful. You can also boost up your card draw, so you can be drawing the standard is 2 cards for a turn, but you can be drawing 3, 4, 5 cards if you really want to go into that. And the bonus tiles are limited. There's only 5 of each type, so especially in a game with more players, those bonuses are going to run out fast. I'll say that I've played the game at 2 and 4, and while I would still prefer it at 2, it's pretty much most games, it's even faster at 2. It's still a very rapid game. I was constantly surprised at it being my turn again already when we were playing 4 players. And that is a difference. In Burgundy, as much as I love it, I always forget how long it takes to play a 4-player game of it. Especially since a 2-player game is really quick and snappy as well. Not to the degree that Tuscany is, but Tuscany is just this amped up, very, very fast game. It's a much lighter game than Burgundy. It's a much faster game than Burgundy. There's more luck involved, but I wouldn't say to a massive degree. There is still a lot of mitigation. You still have, power over what you are doing a lot of the time. There is just maybe the tile display that is going to limit you most of all. But you can always, just draw some more cards and wait till it comes back around to you again. Drawing more cards is not really a bad thing, unless you're doing it at the end of the game and you end the game with loads of them, although they're worth points. It's always great to, even if you're stalling and thinking early on that, I'm just not getting the things that I want, I'm not getting any pet. Do I want to waste 4 cards just to play as 1 tile? Even if you're in that situation, you're ending up with this massive hand of cards. There's no hand limit in this game, so you can end up then in the future just being able to put loads of tiles out because you've got all of these cards banked up. I think it's absolutely fantastic. Oh, downside. Have to point this out, that the rulebook, for some reason in English, is not great. And I don't particularly remember Alia, the publisher. I always remember their rulebooks being pretty good. So something has gone wrong in translation, I think, here, because it seems that the German and French rulebooks are spot on, and there is, confusion over, especially, the turn end scoring and stuff. And when you get the green points for your storage, it seemed like, it's not really spelled out in the rules, but you can work it out. By now, there's already, a couple of weeks after the game coming out, there's already threads on Board Game Geek correcting these and saying what the definitive rules is. And I imagine by the time it gets into wider circulation, that's all going to be sorted. There's probably going to be more printings that correct the rules and stuff. So it's absolutely playable, absolutely fantastic right now. But yeah, be aware that you might want to check up on the Board Game Geek forums to get the properly correct rules, because it took a few times. It took a couple of filmings when I kept realizing, this thing's translated wrong. But anyway, that's just a minor thing and doesn't take away from the fact that Castles of Tuscany is an absolutely fantastic game. But watch the playthrough and decide for yourself. That's all from me. Thanks for watching. Bye everyone.